Justin Bieber Breakdown is the only way to describe Swag 2, an album that sounds less like polished pop and more like the unraveling of a man who cannot escape his past. Every lyric feels heavy with regret and longing, drawing attention back to Selena Gomez at the very moment she prepares to marry Benny Blanco. Insiders revealed that Justin spent sleepless nights in the studio, pouring raw pain into songs that resembled diary entries rather than chart hits. What was meant to be a comeback project has instead exposed his collapse played out in front of the entire world. Justin Bieber Breakdown is most visible in how Swag 2 feels like it was written for one person, Selena Gomez. The lyrics read less like love songs to Hailey and more like emotional signals aimed at an old flame. In I Do, he repeats vows with a tone of desperation, as if trying to prove something to someone who is long gone. In Love Song, the echoes of Selena's past hit cannot be ignored, making fans believe he deliberately tied his story back to her. Insiders describe the recording as emotional outpourings, late-night confessions layered into the music. Each track feels like Justin's way of breaking down publicly, leaving hidden notes for Selena to hear, whether she chooses to listen or not. Justin Bieber's emotional collapse wasn't just audible, it was visible behind the scenes, according to insiders. Sources speaking through TMZ reveal that Justin approached recording sessions in Swag too deeply fragile. Rather than laying down tracks like a confident star, he was navigating heartbreak and confusion. Each late-night session became a battlefield of emotional release, every lyric a way to process the pain of Selena moving on. The music was therapy, not performance. One producer described Justin as shaken, attempting to cope with impending loss through melody and verse. They said these songs weren't crafted for radio. They were coping mechanisms, emotional lifelines he recorded so the world could witness his unraveling. In Swag 2, fans aren't just hearing music, they're hearing the soundtrack to a breakdown, each song a survival tactic as Justin struggles to let go of Selena. Justin Bieber Breakdown in Swag 2 didn't just reopen old wounds for himself, it reignited one of pop culture's most toxic rivalries. As soon as fans dissected the lyrics, the internet lit up with debates about Selena Gomez and Hailey Bieber. Some saw the songs as proof Justin is still emotionally tied to Selena, while others argued it was disrespectful to Hailey, who once again found herself dragged into a storm she never asked for. Hailey's frustration became the subject of speculation, with whispers that she felt overshadowed at the very moment her road brand launched in Sephora. Fans compared Selena's subtle social media response to Hailey's silence, interpreting it as a clash between two women who have been pitted against each other for years. Hashtags like #Team Selena and #Team Hailey surged, turning the album into a battleground rather than a celebration. What makes this feud different is timing. Selena is preparing for marriage, Hailey is trying to secure her own identity in business, and Justin is breaking down in public. Instead of healing, Swag 2 has dragged all three into another wave of fan wars, leaving Hollywood buzzing over who is truly targeted in his songs. Justin Bieber Breakdown is no longer hidden behind studio doors. It's unfolding in real time for the world to see. Swag 2 was supposed to cement his return, but instead it exposed the cracks. The release rollout itself turned into chaos. Tracks were delayed on streaming services, fans stayed up waiting, and even Justin went online admitting he was waiting like everyone else. That one sentence shattered the illusion of control. Instead of a polished superstar campaign, the album arrived looking rushed, uncoordinated, and strangely desperate. The timing only fueled the drama. Selena Gomez is preparing to marry Benny Blanco, Hailey Bieber is fighting to make her road brand a global success, and Justin drops 23 songs dripping with regret. Fans immediately connected the dots, arguing this wasn't strategy. It was a cry for help. The lyrics sounded like diary pages, the rollout looked like a meltdown, and the timing felt like sabotage of both women's milestones. On social media, the release became less about the music and more about Justin's mental state. Hashtags questioned whether Swag 2 was an album or therapy. Memes turned his studio confessions into viral commentary. Industry insiders called the execution sloppy, but fans saw something more vulnerable, a man unraveling under the spotlight. Instead of celebrating his artistry, Swag 2 framed Justin as fragile, exposing how unresolved heartbreak can bleed into every decision. What should have been the next chapter of his career has instead become the clearest sign yet that Justin Bieber's breakdown is happening in public, one lyric and one misstep at a time. The emotional unraveling in Swag 2 didn't stay confined to Justin's headphones. It spilled into the world in full view. Fans erupted across platforms, diagnosing every lyric as evidence of heartbreak while debating whether this album was art or a cry for help. On Reddit, discussions like r/popheads labeled the project a passion release rather than a polished pop statement, with one fan noting, "It feels like he just needed to process where he was." Others complained the album felt rushed, like a string of voice memo ideas stitched together, a sign not of laziness, but of raw emotions spilling out. Mainstream critics echoed this messy intensity. The Guardian called Swag 2 overstuffed and under-edited, pointing out occasional bursts of beauty amid emotional clutter. Los 40 reported fans' frustration at delayed platforms, interpreting the disjointed release itself as part of the breakdown. Even celebrities joined in. BTS's Jungkook publicly praised Swag, calling Justin Hyungnim and covering the song Changes, fueling fan hopes for collaboration, a surprising sign of crossover support amid the chaos. Meanwhile, Hailey subtly supported the album, sharing clips of her favorite tracks on Instagram, Bad Honey, I Do, a quiet public counterpoint to the heartbreak narrative. Across tweets, TikToks, and IG Reels, Swag 2 has become a cultural Rorschach test, diving into pain, provoking memes, and exposing the cracks behind the celebrity facade. What started as a private catharsis has turned into global therapy, and Justin's public breakdown shows no signs of slowing down. Justin Bieber breakdown may have given fans plenty to dissect, but inside the music industry, the reaction is far less forgiving. Executives, producers, and critics are quietly questioning if Justin has lost the structure that once kept his career steady. Swag 2 dropped chaotically, with tracks appearing late on streaming platforms and promotion that felt improvised rather than strategic. Insiders say this isn't just sloppy, it's a red flag. Without the guiding hand of major management, Justin seems to be running on raw emotion, leaving both his artistry and reputation exposed. Critics have also been vocal. Some praised the vulnerability, calling the album unfiltered honesty, but others dismissed it as unfinished and self-indulgent. The Guardian described it as overstuffed and under-edited, a blunt reminder that not everyone sees emotional chaos as creative genius. Even fellow artists are split. While BTS's Jungkook showed public support, others have remained silent, avoiding an album that stirs more gossip than musical acclaim. Industry chatter now frames Swag 2 as a gamble that could either reinvent Justin or tarnish him. If the project succeeds, it proves he can thrive outside polished systems. If it fails, it cements the view that he's unraveling without guidance. For the first time, Justin's career stability looks fragile. Justin Bieber breakdown leaves one haunting question: what happens now? Swag 2 has put his emotions on full display, but it also leaves uncertainty hanging over his next move. Fans speculate a world tour could follow, capitalizing on the sheer volume of new material. Yet insiders doubt whether Justin has the focus or stamina to sustain it. Behind the music, his marriage to Hailey continues to be tested, with Selena's shadow never far away. The question of whether Hailey can withstand another storm of public comparisons lingers heavy over their future. Another theory gaining traction is that Swag 2 is not the end, but the middle of a trilogy. Some fans believe Justin is building towards Swag 3, a final installment that could either close this emotional chapter or spiral further into chaos. If that happens, it could either be his redemption or his breaking point. Selena's marriage to Benny Blanco may also force Justin to confront reality. Once she officially closes the door on their past, Justin will have no excuse to revisit it in song. That moment could define whether he grows into a new era or retreats from the spotlight entirely. Right now, Justin's future feels like his music, unfinished, unstable, and unpredictable.